GM to all my degens out there chasing the next potential 100x. Is this token it? Well, we're gonna find out today. We're gonna be looking at Pingpong. Yes, that's right, Pingpong. Pingpong wants to make compute liquid. One-click multi-mining for supply, a compute resource exchange for demand, and an SDK to glue DePIN together. Before I get any further, you might be wondering what the hell DePIN means. It actually stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks, but what it actually means is basically when crypto projects use tokens to get everyday people, not big companies, to help build real-world infrastructure like Wi-Fi hotspots, sensors, even EV chargers. Think of it as instead of a corporation owning everything, the network is crowd-built. You set up the hardware, provide the service, and basically earn crypto for it. So now with DePIN out of the way, let's get back to Pingpong. If they pull this off, it's huge. If not, it's point season with a ticker. So we're going to just jump right into the narrative and vision like we always do. We're going to start off by taking a look at their website, which kind of reminds me of sort of, man, what's that 90s cartoon with the cow in the red shirt? Someone in the comments put what show that was, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know. Let's take a look at the fast facts here really quick. This is a BSC token. It's trading around 5 cents with a 24-hour volume of 4 million. Most of the flow is on PancakeSwap with BitGet just listed. The price just printed both an all-time high and an all-time low this week. So the volatility is real, as it usually is for new tokens getting listed. But let's get into the narrative and vision here. What are they trying to do? And what are they trying to solve? So DePIN as a whole is kind of fragmented, right? Miners face setup hell and low rewards. Devs hate the uptime variance and token volatility. Pingpong attacks it from both sides, as you can see here with their multi-mining app and the money market. I'll actually show you what the mining app looks like here so you can see it. This is what the actual app looks like when you download it on Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever. This app connects you to 10 plus networks with just one click to juice the yields. The Compute Resource Exchange, which is this thing right here, lists mining yield forwards, points trading, and aggregated staking so that miners can sell forward and buyers can get exposure without actually putting up their hardware. The one-stop SDK that they're promising wants to have clean dev integration, basically health checks, and some geo routing. They haven't actually launched that yet. That's basically what you see here in their documentation. You can also take a look at their white paper, which honestly, it's not bad. It's got some sort of charting outlines about how this actually works behind the scenes. If they can make compute tradable and reliable, they become the liquidity layer of DePIN. So it's a big project. If they don't, it's just another, good looking UI here for the mining and the trading. And that's basically it. It'll be dead. So it really just depends on, can they execute? Can they launch the SDK that they're promising? That'll really drive whether or not this project is successful. So for the narrative and vision, I kind of like it. I mean, the UX is clean. The site is nice. They have an actual mining app that you can download. 15 out of 20 for the narrative and vision. And we can move on to the tech and execution. So for the actual mining apps that you can download here, there's a Docker installer. Basically, Docker is just a virtual machine. There are security notes. There is a changelog, which is good. The one red flag to me here was, maybe they have a private GitHub, but the public one hasn't been updated since December 2024. So kind of a red flag. They are active on X. They have 52,000 followers. The exchange side of this, so the trading portion, does propose 30-day mining yield forwards and some aggregating staking, which is good, and audit reports, which is also a green flag. The SDK here, though, is the big swing, in my opinion, which is going to try and unify the APIs, monitor the health. As you can see here, the geolocation-based response, time optimization, and the availability monitoring. This isn't easy. Let me put it that way. It's hard, but if it ships, it matters. So for the tech and execution, without this yet, It was hard for me to give them a great score, but I gave them a 13 out of 20. So let's move into the tokenomics and supply of this thing. Again, it just released. It has a 1 billion max of Pingpong. There's 50% for the community and airdrops with profit-based unlocks and buybacks, which is good. 15% for the team with a 1-year lock and a 3-year vest. 16% for the treasury. 10% is private. And 5% and 4% are for the ecosystem and market making. It's aligned on paper. It's pretty much standard, but a big community bucket like this can be a perma ask if the product ship lags, meaning there's going to be a sell overhang on this continuously. For that reason, I gave it a 12 out of 20 for the tokenomics and supply. And we can move on to the market structure and liquidity. This is mainly on PancakeSwap and Binance Alpha. Also KuCoin a little bit. You can see by the volume. It's a fresh listing. Again, there's a small FDV. There's decent access to this thing in terms of if you just launch a token, PancakeSwap is kind of the go-to, but the order books are thin and it's in discovery mode and headline-driven mode. You can see the volume here just kind of tailed off after the initial release. So don't market buy this. Definitely, if you're interested in this project, keep it on a watch list and wait to see how the first few weeks of price action plays out before aping into this thing. For that reason, I gave market structure and liquidity a 10 out of 20. It's fairly standard. No huge red flags here for me. And we can move on to exit risk and VC stakes. So between the airdrops, the point farmers, and the unlocks, the base case for me is this is Chop City until they actually launch the SDK and the mining app shows real usage. If you are going to trade it, size small, trade the catalysts. Maybe they get listed on an exchange or their SDK drops, whatever. Keep an eye on their X profile. Definitely place stops if you're going to be trading this thing. Don't let the DePIN plus AI tag make you forget about the inherent risk with this. For that reason, I gave exit risk and VC stakes a 9 out of 20 for a final verdict. This was right on the cusp. It got a 59 out of 100, 1 point away from being high enough to not be an exit liquidity candidate. But unfortunately, it is. It's a promising blueprint, but there's unfinished execution. Again, if the SDK lands and this thing gets some depth, then you can rewrite the price. Until then, trade the news and not the narrative for this thing. They still have a lot to do in order to have a quote unquote full suite product. If this actually does ships, you're going to be early. But if not, you're going to be holding the biggest bag of you know what. So be cautious. I liked the project, but I don't love it. I think the UX is sleek. The UI is nice. And what they're trying to build sounds promising. But until it actually gets there and gets traction, you have to think about it this way. You need actual users mining these things for this token to even have any value at all. And for that reason, it'll go on some DGen watch list for me, and I'll keep an eye on it that way, but I wouldn't touch it until then. That's it for Pingpong. If you made it this far with me, first of all, thank you for sticking around. If you liked the video, you know what to do. I'm not even going to ask you for it. And as always, I'll see you next time.